And before we get started, I'm going to be a professional. And at the very beginning of the episode, I'm going to ask Vine to introduce themselves instead of waiting until we're about to raid out and I've forgotten the whole time. Vine.
Is that me?
Is it you?
Oh, shit. My name is Vine. I'm a non-binary bunny VTuber. I run an apothecary at almost all hours of the day at this point. You can find me almost any day. I do a lot of survival craft. Currently, hyperfixation is Stardew.
Hell yeah.
And Beeps is my best friend.
Besties. That's right. I'm best friends with an animated anthropomorphic bunny person. How does that make you feel? I'm basically the detective from Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's me right now.
Wait, I can choose you. Hold on. Can I choose? Like cheers or drinks?
I heard choose. Yeah, can you
Can I yeah, let me just grab my drink here real quick.
Uh-huh.
Got it. All right. Cheers!
Cheers!
Yay!
Keyword. Give me any keyword or phrase or whatever to search the Am I the Asshole subreddit, and that's the first post we'll read.
You know, the hyperfixation runs deep with Stardew.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's do...
Prozac, Jesus Christ.
No, we're gonna get a lot of misogynistic ones with that one. I was thinking hoe.
I mean, this is hoe inspector.
It is!
I said hoe inspector. Hole inspector. We get a lot of that anyway.
Wait, I'm getting inspected? Let's go!
I mean... No! Hole inspector! Just the word hoe.
You probably put like tool or something in front of it maybe, but I don't know if
Let me
that's gonna make
try
it much better.
Quote, hoe, end quote.
There we go.
I'm so shocked we've never searched hoe before. This is our first time reading the hoe post.
I'm so happy.
Prediction has started. Am I the asshole for kicking my friend out of my bedroom so my wife could take a nap? Throwaway account. So I, 28M, have a wife, 27F, who works full-time as a CNA while she is in school to become an autopsy technician. She works a lot. She is constantly picking up extra shifts, working doubles and even triples. She does all that on top of going to school full-time. Because of that, she often takes a nap after work. Well, yesterday, I had a friend over who I will call, oh my God, E. Normally, I will give single letter abbreviations of people's names in stories like this a full name because it's easier for storytelling and reading. However,
But it's... Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna ask.
my wife and do not get along as makes her uncomfortable, but she and I don't prevent one and other from seeing friends just because one of us doesn't like the other's friend. Was over at mine and my wife's house playing video games while my wife calls to tell me she's on her way home from work. She sounds exhausted, and I asked her if she felt okay to drive, and if not, I'd come pick her up from work and go back together to get the car later. She says she's fine to drive and that she'll see me later. I said okay, and I told her that I loved her. And I go back to playing video games. It's worth mentioning that the only TV my wife and I have is in our bedroom. I was laying on the bed playing and was sitting in my desk chair. About 15 minutes or so later, I hear my wife come in the house and call out to let me know she was home. I come into the living room and give her a kiss. She all but collapses into my arms, exhausted to the point she couldn't even walk to the bedroom. I ask her if she's okay, and she says, yeah, just a long day at work. Okay, first of all, you're not okay. Be upfront with your feelings, communicate with your partner who is supposed to be there for you and support you. But also, you are overworking the fuck out of yourself if you are collapsing when you get home. She says, yeah, just a long day at work. I really need a nap. I nodded and told her to come lay down in the bed. When we get to the bedroom, I politely tell...
Nut.
Whoops. I politely tell... I politely tell E that he needed to leave. Oh, he. I assumed E was femme this whole time. I had a friend over who I will call E. Oh.
Yeah, they never specified pronouns for the other person and were only referring to their wife in the beginning. So them overly using she, we assumed.
I politely tell E that he needed to leave as my wife was exhausted and we could play later that night. E asks why he needs to leave and why my wife can't just sleep while he and I keep playing. I'm sorry,
we looked at their ages. Yep. No, you read that
You're
right.
almost 30 years old. I explained that it was just a game and that my wife and her needs came first. E then asks why my wife couldn't just take a nap on our living room couch. I told him I wasn't making her sleep on the sofa just because he wanted to keep playing. E gets pissed and slammed his controller down on the dresser and goes to leave. Is your friend that's over 13 years old? Because that's what it feels like.
Shit, he never specified.
Maybe he is a 13-year-old and he's just hanging out with just some little dude. Before he does, he turns to my wife and tells her, I'll bet you're happy he feels like he has to pick you over anyone else. Bro, that's his wife.
You mean the person that he married and picked over everybody else?
Yeah, you mean the person he picked over everyone else?
Willingly? Yeah.
What? Huh? He leaves and slams the door on the way out. My wife turns to me and starts to apologize, saying she could have just slept on the couch. I tell her no, she couldn't have, and tell her to get some rest. Later that night, my other friends are blowing up my phone saying things along the lines of bros before hoes and saying it was rude to kick E out just so my wife could sleep. I say ho with extremely heavy quotation marks.
Yeah, we support hoes.
Yeah, like we support hoes. If you wanna go around and fuck around, absolutely do that. Empower yourself.
Consensually and safely is all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. Playing in this space, your wife is not a hoe. And if you think your wife is a hoe, you don't deserve to be married to that person. All your friends suck. Oh, I see now all his friends are drier than the Sahara. Oh.
just wait until you read this next part.
All of my married friends All of my married friends, however, are on my side, saying my wife's needs come first before my friends. E is now saying he won't speak to me until I apologize, so am I the asshole? You mean all of the men that are mature and have been able to have stable, healthy relationships with women that brought them to a marriage and are currently with their partner are saying, yes, you should be mature and your wife's needs should come first. That's so wild. E is definitely the asshole. I won't talk to you again. That's a threat. Sounds good to me. Real. Let's read. Let's see what the top comment is. 28 and 27, and you've got friends saying bros before hoes about your fucking wife. Hit him with your car. This seems like it's gonna be spicy.
Am I the asshole for blowing up on my husband's friend after her wife died? All right, ready?
Yeah, hit me.
My 36F husband, Ian, 44M, is close friends with a woman named Jenna. They've been friends for a long time before Ian and I got together, so I know her fairly well too, but we really have nothing in common and we're not exactly friends. Jenna's wife, Laura, very sadly and somewhat suddenly passed in early March. She was terminally ill, but responding to treatment very well and was expected to survive another 2 to 5 years.
That's fucking rough.
I guess I had big feelings in this one for sure.
Yeah.
She's been leaning on Ian heavily for support, which I understand, but she's been at our house every single day since, and even sleeping in our guest room most nights because she doesn't want to be home alone. which would be okay, except she is getting more and more passive-aggressive towards me and weirdly territorial of Ian.
Oh.
That's odd.
Don't like that. That's...
Not at all. You're in my house. What are you doing?
Am I the asshole stories that make you go,
I've reminded myself that I don't think I could stand to see a happy couple for months if I lost Ian, and to be patient. It's not personal. My birthday was on Sunday. I got home Saturday after a morning out, and Jenna was there. I was making small talk when I asked Ian what time he made dinner reservations for the next day. Jenna inserted herself right there and asked Ian if he was going to be out the next day, and he said yes. God, I'd hope so.
Uh-huh.
She started panicking and saying that he couldn't, and she wasn't ready to spend an evening alone. I was going to tell her that she could still hang out here while we were gone, and she looked at me and said, "Don't you have any fucking friends you can go with?"
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Girl, this ain't your house. Girl, this ain't your relationship.
That's not your husband, and it's not your fucking birthday.
It ain't your man. I think she might be just codependent as fuck.
Yeah,
Maybe
so
I'm giving her the
codependent on the
benefit
partner-
of the doubt for not wanting to steal, quote unquote, Ian, but
Needing somebody to rely on, and Ian is the next person that she has.
right. I'm giving her the benefit of the doubt that she's not trying to like take her man in a romantic sense, but that she has incredible attachment issues, especially after this.
And I just blew the fuck up. Don't you have any other fucking friends you can go bother? And so on. She called me selfish for monopolizing my husband. And I had enough and told her to get the fuck out of my house and not to ever come back. Ian had been trying to calm things down between us, but it spiraled out of control fast, and he ended up escorting Jenna out and telling her that he'd come visit her in a few days, but he would be backing my decision because of how she spoke to me.
Good.
Okay, good W.
Good. It sounds a little like a wet noodle way to do that, but
Yeah, diffusing the situation as neutrally as possible for the most part.
right. Yeah.
I was happy for his support and still am, but it's been a few days and I just feel bad all around about it. I should have been more understanding of her, but I also feel like she should have treated me more respectfully, and I'm not really sure if I overreacted.
You didn't. She's a bitch. Next post.
Correct.
Woo! Cool motive, still murder in my book.
Real.
Yeah.
Wild.
It sucks that your spouse passed away so suddenly. That doesn't give you a free pass to be a fucking asshole to the people around you. I wanna read this one because I'm curious. God,
Curious?
it's a fucking
That's a long
reader.
one.
Yeah, all right. Am I the asshole for proving to my boyfriend the nerds never cared about the popular kids in high school? My boyfriend and I, both 25, went to the same high school. My boyfriend was talking about our high school days. He thought high school me would have been thrilled to date the quote-unquote popular guy because I was a quote-unquote nerd. Mind you, we're 25 and it is 2024. How many of these are we gonna get in this post? I played along for a bit until I realized he wasn't joking. He literally thought that. I told him that I didn't know he existed. Get it, girl. Get it, girl. Fucking take him down a peg or three. Thank you. He was surprised and said that he was a popular kid. He played football when it was in the popular crowd. He said I must have been lying. Hang on. I gotta. I told him that the quote-unquote nerds never cared about the quote-unquote popular kids in high school because we were fiercely competing amongst ourselves for college admissions. For a backstory on our town, my boyfriend was born and raised there, but I only moved when I was 13 along with a bunch of other high-achieving kids. I was a talented and gifted kid, babe. I don't care about you. I'm smarter than you. You're a big dumbhead. I feel like we're getting the polarization of both the jocks and the nerds right now. the proud to be the gifted and talented kid and the proud to be a jock butting heads here.
I agree.
A little bit, yeah. That's because an engineering company opened up a branch near that, and brought in a ton of engineers and their families. So it was a sleepy town with a big high school that suddenly got a ton of competitive kids. And I mean insanely competitive. Nobody had time to think about popular kids or really anything but college admissions. I was only getting 4 or 5 hours of sleep a night regularly. Sports like football or cheerleading, which required 5 days a week of training at school, were out of the question. And I saw the same people regularly because we were all in the same classes. So all of the drama was contained within that group of 50 to 100 or so students. It paid off for me. I got into a top college and had no student loans. It was literally cheaper than the state school, and despite my auto-generated username, I do have a good job that I enjoy. No job, 7202. That's funny.
Nice.
My boyfriend said I'm lying. I don't like being called a liar. So I literally reached out to all...
Start putting him on the other side for her.
Yeah, right. I was like, they're made for each other. They're both a little bit of red flags here. So I literally reached out to all of my high school nerd friends, and yeah, they didn't know the popular group and the ins and outs of the dynamics like my boyfriend thought. A few people recognized some names, but like I said, we were really focused on competing with each other. He got quiet when I proved my case. He said I humiliated him and I proved my point and we should never mention high school again. I talked with his sister and she said that high school was a special experience for him and I ruined his memories. Am I the asshole? I think he
peaked.
I think you're both assholes.
Yeah.
I think you're both red flags. I think OP is a little bit of a self-important egghead, and that the boyfriend is a peaked in high school macho man. And I think you both suck, and you should both go to therapy. And I think the word empathy eludes the both of you.
It was the reaching out to the friends that got me like, okay.
Right, like that's a little, you're going really hard here. I think it's above and beyond proving your point. That's a different level. It should have ended with our experiences were different and that's okay, no worries. Right, exactly.
Like, it was very much so. I reached out to all my friends to make sure that they didn't give a fuck about you.
Right! OP, you said you were a nerd in high school. Or I guess your boyfriend did, but this is big mean girls energy.
Well, that's the thing, though, is a lot of the quote-unquote, like, high academic nerds were really mean. Because they were like, you're fucking below me. Right.
Self-important. And here we are. I have to prove that I'm better than you. So I'm gonna call all my friends who are gonna tell you that they don't know who you are. Are the straights okay? The answer is never. Literally never. No. Sick. That's what good pussy sounds like. I'm so sorry. That one made me upset.